Terry, take us through developments.
So it was really surprising. The same government that won by a landslide in elections just last June have been now bowled over by lady slippers and bathrobes. There was a lot of growing resentment over the country's COVID-19 policies for being too restrictive. That all came to a head when a video went viral. That video seemed to show a woman being hastily uh, forced to leave a maternity hospital. People got very angry and upset, and protests followed the next day. Those protests had people asking for a resignation of top officials, and you even saw some supporters in solidarity wearing slippers and bathrobes like that woman in the video.
Tell me here, though, what were the tensions actually in the government all about here, Terry?
So the prime minister and the president, they belong to separate parties, but have cooperated at times. That cooperation has been tenuous, and there's been a lot of talk about behind the scenes power struggle for public affection and general power in government. That seemed to come to a head again in another surprising twist, where the prime minister used his resignation time to accuse the president of having a hand in those protests this week.
Mongolia is known for its natural resources. Do you see any fallout from this?
So most people will be looking at the flagship Oyo Tolgoi copper project that Mongolian government shares ownership with Rio Tinto, the miner. This will raise some uncertainty for sure. There has been multiple look backs at the agreements with Rio Tinto, looking for better terms, and there's been another inquiry because of cost blowouts. The Horosuk government, they weren't afraid of tough talk, but at the same time, they demonstrated that they wanted to see the project and an expansion project go forward. What happens next depends on his successor, which we've heard a new nominee. Whether he decides to continue that idea of moving things forward, we'll have to see what his leadership looks like.
Terry, tell me something. Living there in Ulaanbaatar, what is the COVID situation like? What have the restrictions been like? And how has it been dealt with in a manner that has caused such unpopularity?
So Mongolia's done pretty well. I think a lot of countries would be jealous of Mongolia's numbers. Less than 1,600 cases since last March, but it's been at the cost of great restriction. Service workers have been asked to stay home without any financial compensation, and the ban on air travel into country has left Mongolian citizens stranded and homeless while they can't return. There's been protests in Seoul, for example.